I think that should be working now. Can you guys hear me now? I think that should be working. Good to see we've got people over from the land of Twitch joining us as well. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. I missed you all. Did it not feel like it had just been so long since we've gotten a One Piece chapter? It felt like so long. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year if we haven't seen each other since 2024. I did do a stream you might have seen with Mr. Grand Line Review, our dear friend Liam. He came over to our channel and we did a stream thinking and talking about our 2025 predictions, which meant that we got a new bingo list. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. This is our 2025 bingo list. I put it up on I posted it as part of a community post on my channel, so you can flick over to the community tab because that is our bingo list for 2025. And we'll see today whether we can cross anything off already. But yeah, it does feel like it's been a really long time since I've just gotten a chance to sit down and read a new chapter with you, with everyone. So I'm really, really excited to be able to do that. And what else? I missed One Piece, guys. I really missed One Piece. But how was everyone's Christmases and how was everyone's New Year's? No spoilers about things getting crossed off today. Okay, I'm seeing that we're actually already getting one crossed off today. That's exciting. Has everyone read the chapter already? Well, I'm glad. I was just kidding. I know that you haven't actually spoiled anything. But thanks. Actually, you know what? Speaking of well, just going by your name of Konoha, I'm actually wearing a Kakashi shirt today. This is a shirt that one of my closest friends gave me. I think he actually bought it for himself. Potentially bought it for himself while he was over in Japan, and then found out it doesn't actually fit him. So he gave it to me instead. Oh, congratulations, Callie. I hope you have a pleasant and successful sobriety journey. Whenever people say candy, the Australian English, in my brain translates that to like lollies, like sweets. But I know that in America, candy actually refers to chocolate, which I find just really bizarre. Like, why is candy like? I mean, I guess it refers to all of it, right? It can be chocolate, it can be anything. It's sort of anything that has sugar in it. I don't know. Like things like Sour Patch Kids and like I don't know. Do you guys have Starbursts? Do you guys have Skittles in America? they would all be considered candy as well as chocolate. I find that so strange. I mean, Australians don't really use the word candy anyway. We call it either lolly or chocolate. But oh, you guys do have Skittles, okay? I don't know. Taste the rainbow. I'm seeing people disagree that actually candy shouldn't cover chocolate, and chocolate is called chocolate in its own right. But then see, we do have, thank you Cecilia. I thought so. A candy bar can mean like a chocolate bar. That's the impression that I got from my observations. Mostly based off movies, American movies, so you know, may have been wrong. But yeah, sometimes people are like, oh, here, I have a candy bar, and then they'll give you like I don't know, a Snickers bar or something. Yeah, like gummy worms and things like that. Those, I think those also count as candy. Look, anyways, we're getting derailed. We're here to read chapter 1136. I have the chapter up and ready. So are you all ready? Are you all ready to read the chapter with me? I would really come on, let's go. I've been waiting for this. I've really missed One Piece. Actually, you know what though? I forgot to share the stream, so give me a second. Let me do that first. True, what would a non-chocolate candy bar? Like a hard lolly bar? You know those like hard candy bar? Maybe, I don't know. Hot dogs. Do you mean those Haribo hot dog lollies, like the gummy ones? Are you saying payday as in like when you get paid, or is payday a type of lolly that I don't know about? Oh my goodness, there are caramel candy bars called Payday. I have never seen that before. Oh, okay, that's interesting. It's like a. It almost looks like a protein bar. But I suppose it's not, because I'm sure it's just full of sugar and doesn't have all that much nutritional value. That is interesting. I've never tried a Payday bar before. Where do I get my hands on one of these? All right. Next time I pass an American convenience store, I'll go in and I'll see whether they have a Payday. It's a nut bar. All right. Okay. I'm not mad. You know what I've also never tried is candy corn. Does it actually taste like corn? But that's what it is. It's a it's a nut bar. All right. Okay. I've shared the stream. We can go read now. All right. I'm sorry I derailed us again. Are we ready to go and read chapter 1136? Tastes like sugar. That's disappointing. It tastes like cavities. It looks like cavities. It looks like, is it soft or is it hard? Because I feel like it would just break my teeth. I can hear it already. Alright, no more derailing. We're gonna read. We're going to read. So, are you guys ready? I do believe this is the first chapter that we will be reading in 2025. The chewable, it's like taffy. Oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting at all. You guys keep derailing me. Come on. I know it's my fault. But you gotta. Oh, okay. Sorry. We are getting derailed again, but this is for a genuine reason this time. Cyanide. Oh, thank you so much. Gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Welcome to all of our new executive officers of the Joy Fleet. What a great gift to start the new year. Thank you. And I think this last bell can actually ring us in to read chapter 1136, which is what we said that we were going to do. So with that, I've got the chapter up and running. Chapter 1136, titled The Country That Awaits the Sun. Oh, I see. The Country That Awaits the Sun. Elbaf. We're going to get some Nika lore. Today. I am excited. So what's happening in this cover story? Onichat Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage Volume 22. A mysterious hidden base in Udon. Why does he have a... So they've used the same infrastructure. They've taken Hold'em. They've tied him up, captured him, and they're taking him to this mysterious hidden base. Did they just tell? Oh, so this is where Hold'em's little base is, and they're going to find out, what are the remnants of the beast pirates getting up to at Wano. Okay, this is actually getting really interesting. Notes from Oda-san, taken out of context. I went to Miyakojima over New Year's and chilled out with some karage, chanpuru, and non-alcoholic beer. Living it up like it's already summer. What is chanpuru? I know karage, but what is chanpuru? It sounds a little familiar. I feel like I should know this. Oh, it's bitter melon. It's a stir-fried bitter melon in Okinawa style. Do you guys have... I suppose you guys would call it bitter gourd. Have you tried bitter gourd? I actually quite like bitter melon. I know not everyone likes it. It's not typically a dish that I have in Korea, but I grew up with a lot of Filipino friends, which means that I think they call it ampalaya. So I actually make ampalaya quite often just to get my veggie intake with tofu and egg. I know the traditional ampalaya is usually with some sort of mince meat. Anyways. Alright, we're ready to read the actual chapter. It's so tasty! Even the meat is huge! This moose reminds me of dinosaur meat! This is so cute. I want this as like a sticker. I want that Luffy eating on a shirt. Someone make it happen for me, please. They're quite tricky to catch. As ferocious as they are delicious. I appreciate it, Harden Stanson. Glad you like it. No task is too great if it's for one savior. How cute is that? Luffy fits on their plate. Oh, look at Colin. He's running. Is that Colin? I think that's Colin. Running around in the foreground, just mucking around. Taste reminds him of dinosaur meat. I guess that makes sense. That's why they settled down at Little Garden, because they could find meat that's close to their cuisine back at home. It's rare for humans to make it all the way to the Sun Realm. Most confuse the underworld for Elbaf proper and flee before they find their way up here. Listen up! The mighty Oars was a warrior legendary even to you giants. He'd tower over any of you, 3 times over. And guess who finally finished him? That's right. Oh, look at Usopp. He's telling his tales again. It was me. Woo! Way to go, Captain Usopp. That's funny. Wow, your skin is really blue. You should see Fishman Island. There's as many skin tones as there are fish in the sea. I've always wanted to see a mermaid. No shame in that. Oh, that's Sanji. No shame in that. They're a sight to behold. Mermaid love is more enticing than heaven itself. Whoa! That said, my heart soars just as much when I see you, giant ladies. Sanji's rizzing it up. Oh, Sanji-kun, you're so silly. It's cute. That's so funny. Sanji's actually, I think that was one of our 2025 predictions. I think it actually was that Sanji will rizz up a giant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that that was one of our 2025 prediction. Woohoo! Beauties everywhere I look. I'm getting buried in babes. So ridiculous. Sanji is such a clown. And what are you? Who? Me? I can answer with my own blues. My what the heck am I, Diddy? Yeah! I guess it's a big, wide world out there. Let's toast to it. I'm surprised so many giants have never gone out to sea. Yeah. I kind of assumed that they were all pirates. Look at Rodo. Namitaso, I want to apologize to you and this other straw hat about before. What's happening here? Rodo's been redeemed, is he? We ain't gonna be forgiven that easily, but beating a proper apology out of him was the least we could. Oh, they beat him so that they'd hear to apologize. That's pretty funny. At the least we could do. Gartasso's sadistic side really makes my heart flutter. Is that? Oh, that's what Rodo's thinking. Don't sweat it. It's not like anyone died. Although, that's only because Usopp stopped me. If he didn't, it would have been your head. Freaking Zoro. Zoro, that's Zoro. Zoro is the true sadist out here. That's funny. Rodo! Yeah. Don't tell me you picked a fight without checking their current bounties. You never stood a chance. Don't hold back next time. Go, Tazo! She's so harsh. I can't get enough. Come on. Everyone born here on Elbaf shares the same dream. To become the next sun god and rule the world. Oh, the sun god lore. Okay. Alright, better sit up for this. Gotta sit properly, read this properly. Sun god? Are you kidding me? The sun god isn't a ruler. That's right. He's the god of liberation. Pfft, more like destruction. You're wrong. Everyone knows that he was the god of laughter. Okay. The god of destruction and the god of laughter. I mean, they're not wrong. None of these are wrong. It's getting rowdy. What's this about a god? Yum, 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 yum. The sacred Harley texts have been passed down for generations in Elbaf. The legends are written in an archaic language, so there have been countless interpretations. No one can say for sure which translation is accurate, and this is the result. According to the Harley texts, the world has already been destroyed twice? Twice before. Okay, things just got interesting. The world has already been destroyed twice before. We didn't know that. We did not know that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. The world has already been destroyed twice before. That's crazy. So one was obviously during the Void Century when the whole great flooding happened. And there was a time before that. Alright, we'll discuss this. We'll discuss this after I finish reading. But freak, this is... We're getting more peace! And the name of sun god Nika is invoked after each instance. The world has already been destroyed twice before, and the name of sun god Nika is invoked after each instance. So Nika is associated with both instances of the world being destroyed. This is very interesting. Okay, I love this. Nika. Oh! Is this Nika? You guys, I have freaking chills. Is this? I cannot believe it. First chapter of 2025 is slapping, is hitting right now. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's the shield. And the shield has the circles that's in the Kazuki crest. There's been 2 Kazuki crests. I don't know if so you guys actually might remember this. A couple months ago, I made a video based on Mr. Bushido's theory, and I do actually believe that Mr. Bushido is with us on stream. Sorry, I haven't been reading the chat lately while I've been reading, and I hear some things going on in the background, so if people are gifting memberships or gifting super chats, thank you so much. I'll get to it once I finish reading, but I saw Mr. Bushido come in before we started reading, so if you're still here, then who knows, maybe Joy Boy being a Kazuki, as per your theory, is right after all, because that's the same number, it's the crest. Huh, interesting. It's got a sword as well, which we have seen before. I think it was sort of like people thought that maybe could have been a spear, could have been a sword. I think it was always clear that it was a sword in the one that we saw from Who's Who, when Who's Who was telling us back at Wano as well. But wow. Dark skin and white clouds. Is he Lunarian? Is he Shandorian? Hmm. Hmm. This is wow. Who can say if he's the world savior or the great destroyer who brought it crashing down? All we know for sure is that he heralds great change. That's why the rulers of the day always tend to fear Nika's return. Nika. That's the guy Bonnie mentioned. Yes, the sun god has become a symbol, someone the hopeless and desperate turn to for salvation. They say Nika is adorned by white clouds with white hair and white clothes to boot, and he's said to have a contagious, booming laugh. No wonders everyone's been saying I look similar, but I'm sure he's got nothing to do with me. Oh, you don't know. Oh, Luffy. Wow. Oh my goodness, I can't move on from this page. I've got chills. Far out, we're getting an actual look at Nika. Don't be so dismissive, Straw Hat. You'd understand if you were born on Elbaf. We all look up to Nika. Not to defend Rodo, but he wasn't lying, us all sharing the same dream. Loki was the same. I believe his motive for Harold's murder was his attempt to follow in Nika's footsteps. Nothing can justify what he did, Elder. Loki. So he's a good guy? No way in hell! Oh, Luffy's in trouble. He's already done some deal. He's the accursed prince. There was a prophecy before Loki was born that foretold that King Harold would be slain by his son. Then shortly after his birth, the royal steed, the horse of fortune, died. That was the same year that Lin murdered the legendary hero Yrul. And the tragedies kept coming. A year later, the queen herself passed on. The princeling would go on to use his natural strength and make the realm of the dead his own personal playground. He killed many of those ferocious beasts and tamed the rest. He even released a few into the villages. And that was all by the age of 10. He was an arsonist. Loki's mischief endangered countless lives. He had the authority of a prince and a malicious personality. He caused hell whenever the king wasn't looking. Then finally, why is Loki's painted all black as well? So that's interesting that Oda's adopted the same color scheme for both Loki and Nika. In that very castle, Loki, killed King Harold. Dun 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 dun. Oh, that's King Harold. It's like his that cloak is almost like made out of fish scales. The greatest monarch Elbaf ever knew. A splendid wise man who tried to connect with the outside world, to get people to see beyond Elbaf's feared reputation as a land of warriors. Lord Jarul was stabbed trying to help Loki. Also, that's the reason why he's got the sword. My helmet saved me in the end. It didn't save anything. Loki's reign of terror finally came to an end 6 years ago. He was running amok at sea when red-haired Shanks lore. Okay. Shanks lore finally here as well. So Loki actually went out to sea. That's interesting. I guess it did seem like he was a fellow pirate, but I didn't realize that he left Elbaf. was running amok when at sea when red hair captured him. Shanks? Shanks really came here? Yeah. In fact, he was just here earlier. I'm not sure where he went off to, though. Zoro's sensing something. What are you sensing, Zoro? Oh, he's sensing that Luffy is up to something. Huh. Village outskirts. I thought you were acting weirdly on edge earlier. That explains it. You realize he's a reviled Kingslayer, right? Everything he told you was obviously just a lie. He said he knew where Shanks was. Do you have any idea how badly I want to see him again? Yes, I've heard about it 1,000 times. Sounds to me like he was using that to trick you. How would you know? You've never met Loki yourself. I haven't. I'm just guessing based on his reputation. I'll tell you everything I need to know. That includes Redhair's current whereabouts. If that really was a lie, I'm gonna send him flying. Oh, so this is... Oh, okay, I see. This is after the feast. Zoro and Luffy. That's cute. Some captain, vice captain stuff going on. Zoro's figured out that Luffy was up to something. If you're sneaking off to what I think you are, did you seriously expect to find your way without me? Oh, Nami's joined in. Nami's joining in as well. That's freaking funny. That's hilarious. This is also such a cute panel. Why does Nami look so cute? Nami looks so cute here. Listen up, Luffy. We'll get the key, but if he pulls anything funny, we'll have to take care of him. Got it, thanks. But why this guy here? He's my new slave. Are you kidding? Rodo has become a slave? Has become a slave of Nami? Is Rodo not gonna blab to the rest of the giants that Luffy is seriously gonna go and the Straw Hats are gonna go and free Loki? What? I'm truly blessed. He's my new slave. Don't forget, I'm her #1 slave and Sanji's #2. What the frick is going on? This is out here reminding him, I'm #1 slave, Sanji's #2 slave, Rodo, you're #3. Strong girls really get my blood pumping. So freaking weird. He's been struck by lightning, literally. Namitaso, isn't it neat how we're both navigators? Don't ever get close to me, ever again. Yes, ma'am. Alright, so funny. It feels wrong for the guests of honor to bail so early. Shh. Don't worry, I bought some meat. Have you tried this moose? They're all in a drunken stupor now. They probably can't remember what they're celebrating. Say, if all the treasure in the castle suddenly disappeared too, would that be a problem, Rodo? My vision is awful. I'm sure I wouldn't even notice. That's freaking what Nami's been up to. She just wanted to come and get treasure. You had this in mind since the beginning, didn't you, Nami? Uh-huh. She's got berry in her eyes. Your eyes. Doga ha ha ha. So that's what it is. Where are we now? Who's saying that? So that Doga ha ha. Whose laugh is that? Realm of the Dead. Oh, it's Loki. We're in the underworld. Doga ha ha ha. If I understood you correctly, then I'm afraid I'll have to step back and refuse your offer. I'm sure it's an honor to be invited to join your noble knights, but that would make you celestial dragons, right? Do you really expect anyone on the planet to willingly become scum like that? Oh, wait a second. Did I understand that right? He's refused an offer to join the God's Knights. They offered him to become one of the God's Knights? What? Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, non-celestial dragons can become God's Knights as well? What the freak? Okay, that's interesting. And I think that's another one of our bingo cards that can be crossed off now. Because we did say that more God's Knights were going to be revealed. And it seems like these two that have infiltrated Elbaf are confirmed gods. Can be confirmed. We could say that they have been confirmed to be God's Knights. Wow. But freaking Loki is cool, man. Loki stocks are going up. He's outright said, like, he knows that if he becomes a God's Knight, they will free him, which is what he wants. He wants to become freed. And yet he said, no, because I don't want to be one of you celestial dragons scum. Alright, see, this is what I keep saying. Loki is a good guy, you guys. Loki is one of the good guys. I seriously believe it. Do we have any intel? All the informants we sent to Elbaf reported a giant crow heading for them before their transmissions got cut off. Their weakness is beyond belief. I'm done just... Ooh! What are those eyes? She's got like some sort of Sharingan power. What is that? Why are eyes like that? It's... Oh, that's so weird. I'm done just standing by and listening. This is the definition of impertinence. I won't let it stand. Gunko. Oh, her name is... Look, her sleeves do the bandage work. It's a part of her clothing. That's so cool. Wait a second. Is she only wearing undies? Am I looking at this right? Did Oda draw her in just her panty? Just in her panties. In her little underwear, you guys. She's not wearing any pants. She's not wearing any bottoms. Alright. That is a... What? This is some sick ass shoes though. Alright, this is not what I was expecting of a God's Knight design. She sort of looks like Koala. This is fun. These are the pajama ghost. That's what my dance teacher calls it whenever we don't roll up our sleeves, and during dance our sleeves are just like just flapping around. No pajama ghosts. Don't be hasty, Gunko. Are we gonna find out his name as well? Oh, the wolf. Fenrir. Is it this Fenrir story finally happening again? Eat him up, wolf. Hey, stay back if you want to keep breathing. Oh, that's cool, man. Huh? Hey, wolf! Oh, what? In an instant, ping! So her bandages go to wherever, like, she's pointing. Okay, so that was a wrap him up and, like, sling upwards to cut off to create tension and cut off airflow. Wow. Woof! If we were to spare him, Would you change your mind then? So that's how you operate, huh? Well, if that was your offer, I'd accept my friend's fate and wish him peace in death. It's okay to grieve and rage, but a warrior never kicks and screams in the face of death. Oh, poor Wolfie. Oh. What are all of these circles that are circling them right now? Is it snow? Yes, it's snow. Okay, I missed that from earlier. Huh. I'll swallow all my fury and use it to fuel me when I reduce this world to rubble. Ha ha. A proud proclamation. Wow. Dun 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 dun. That's so interesting. You guys, I don't even know where to go with this right now. My head is just so full. Wow. Let me come back to the chat. Loki has got real king. Yeah, Loki has real king energy. This is freaking so cool. Wow. He is badass. I am so convinced that Loki is look, I don't think Loki's a straight up good guy, but I don't think he's the evil guy that he's being portrayed to be. This is so sick. Oh, I missed some super chats. I'm sorry. Oh, Mr. Bushido. I thought I saw you in the stream. Mr. Bushido, thank you for the super chat. I believe Kid will be the sun god of destruction, and I believe this chapter hints at a civil war. Lord is a fake god of liberation. Loki is fake destruction. Huh. That's an interesting take. The fake god of liberation and the fake god of destruction. What makes you say about Lord being the fake god of liberation? Is it the idea that he's created sort of this free world for his little puppets? And a second super chat. I've been saying for 4 years that there are 2 voids. Really? Okay. If you've planned to expand on your theory ideas, then please do let us know, because your theories are always great to read. Like I said, guys, there was a theory that I made, a video that I made based on Mr. Bushido's theory that he sent to me about Joy Boy actually being one of the Kuzukis, and I would highly recommend you go check that video out. Very, very interesting. Yeah, Loki. Mr. Nine, what do you mean by Loki is a friend to animals? That was the tell. The fact that he's actually a good guy because he's a friend of the animals. Look, the way that I see it, all the stuff that they were saying about Loki, how he's been running amok, how he's been causing chaos, how he's been ruining Elbaf. Does that not feel like an Odin introduction to you? That's exactly the type of stuff we found out about Odin. Like, Odin was getting up to all sorts of different trouble from a young age. And he was a good guy in the end. I don't know. I think Loki stocks are up. Look at him. He refuses to become one of the celestial dragons. If anything, Loki's a smarter Odin, because when he sees his friend dying, it doesn't detract away from his original goal. That was the problem with Odin, was that he was way too compassionate. Odin was too compassionate and couldn't accept or couldn't deal with anyone dying on his watch. And that meant that he made some decisions that were probably not the right decisions to make in the long run. You know, he never should have taken that deal with Kaido. He was too compassionate. He was too compassionate when it came to freaking, what's his name? What's his name? The Kurozumi king. What's his name? Orochi? Yeah, Orochi. Kurozumi Orochi. Yeah, never should have taken that deal. The arson was probably retaliation for giants killing the beasts of the forest because they're Loki's friends. Could be. That's actually a good idea as well. Although I have a feeling that it could be. Like, I can definitely see that. At the same time, Loki's probably like, well, giants gotta eat. I gotta eat too. There's no way that Loki's on a vegetarian diet. Wow. Loki's gonna go full John Wick on the God's Knights because the wolf was probably his friend since he was 10. Yeah, I think so too. I agree. That's a cool observation. Thanks for pointing that out. Evil Shanks carries his sword on the opposite side of Shanks. I guess that's a way to distinguish. And can we just talk about Gunko's powers? It's arrow pointed as well. That's like Imu's. Even her eye almost feels like Imu's eye. Not quite, but almost, right? I mean, she's got those pretty lashes. But otherwise, it looks like Imu's eye. You reckon she's fake? You reckon she's like Stussy? She's the clone? She's been created? And then, or is it just that she's just been imbued with Imu's powers? Do you think she's maybe she's also not even originally a celestial dragon? Because it seems like they're just giving anyone a celestial dragon. Not just anyone, but people who are strong enough, invitations to join the God's Knights, regardless of whether they are a celestial dragon or not. So maybe like one of the things that happen when you accept is that Imu imbues you with their lineage factor, some of their genetics, and then you adopt some of their powers, because the arrow part of her powers that looks obviously very similar to Imu's powers. Her eye, one eye looks like Imu's eye. That's interesting. The Holy Knights are all just clones of real people. Maybe not all of them, but some of them, sure, maybe. Because, I mean, they're recruiting Loki, so it's not like Loki is a clone. Could be a cyborg. Her boots are an interesting... Yeah, I noticed those boots too. They look sick. It looks very high-tech. Cilicia, I've always read your name as Cecilia or Celia, but I've just realized I've just clocked in that it's actually Cilicia. I'm so sorry, I've been pronouncing your name wrong for all of these years. Story reminds me of Odin and Robin. That's exactly what I'm saying. Loki, like these introductions, that felt very much like Odin. Yeah, the Holy Knights in 1096 didn't look like clones. I agree. So I don't think all of them could be clones, but maybe this one could be. Or maybe not a clone, but I mean, she does look a little like, she looks a little like Koala. I mean, I guess it's her hat. It's an interesting design. The Holy Knights probably aren't celestial. I mean, not all of them, but some of them are, right? I mean, we know that Figel and Garling must be. And why which is like just such an interesting idea. So if not all the gods' knights are celestial dragons, how are they given the power or the authority to rule over disputes and rule over matters, conflicts that happen between the celestial dragons? Like, that's crazy. That's like a weird power that they've been, like, weird authority that they've been given. I don't know. There's so much going on. I don't even know how to just process all of this. I mean, yeah, Jay, I guess that raises a good question. Like, if the Holy Knights have cyborgs, what does that mean about Vegapunk's research? Well, maybe maybe Vegapunk actually created Gunko. Maybe Gunko is like the newest Holy Knight member. This could be Gunko's first real mission to test out how strong the new Vegapunk creation is. Every now and then I have said Cilicia. I'm sorry. Sometimes your brain just makes connections, or your brain, it's like those things where you read a thing. Have you seen those online where like you just automatically interpret what the word is going to be even though it's been spelt wrong? I don't know. It was one of those things, and I read your name, and usually I read it as it's Celia or Cecilia, but no, Cilicia. I'm sorry. I will try to remember that. You can call me out next time if I say it wrong. Gunko is actually Bonnie's twin. That is freaking wild. That's wild. Because you're right, Bonnie does seem like Bonnie has celestial blood. Imu's just imbued the Holy Knights all in a similar scale like to the Gorosei. I mean, that's what I was thinking as well about Gunko's what do you call it? Powers. Her powers seems very much like Imu's. Well, I think it's just two things going on here, right? One is her powers and her eye that makes it seem like she does have this connection to Imu. The second one is the fact that it doesn't seem like all of the Holy Knights strictly have to be celestial dragons, which is just really interesting when you take into account that they have the powers and they have the authority to deal over celestial dragon matters. Like, imagine allowing non-celestial dragons have the authority to be above them and discern who's right or wrong in an argument. I mean, I think when it comes to Garling, I think we can be pretty sure that Garling is actually one of the celestial dragons. I think the Figureland family, I think it's pretty, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty convinced that they are actually celestial dragons. And I don't think it's a case where they're not. So, but imagine if Garling wasn't. If he was one of the Holy Knights that weren't a celestial dragon, he was still given the power to kill Mjosgard. I don't know. I just think it's really, really wild. Val, how come they want Loki to become a knight based on what was revealed in this chapter alone? I mean, I think if anything, the things that were revealed in this chapter is probably a plus for them, right? They think, oh, Loki is this really strong guy, able to cause so much trouble even from a young age. And maybe the fact that he was known as the Accursed Prince, he's like known for destruction. Maybe they think that that means that Loki's not that loyal to Elbaf. And maybe because of the informants, they've, even though it seems like most of the informants have died on the way, it seems like they do have some information and are probably aware of the fact that Loki killed his own father. See, again, a point that it seems like he might not be all that loyal to Elbaf. And he has the legendary devil fruit. And they must know what this legendary devil fruit is, right? Okay, Ramon, I see where you're coming from. Really overcomplicating things. If you become a god's knight, you're just given celestial dragon status. Like, I see what that's. I see that as well. But I think it's even wild that they are offering this celestial. I mean, I guess that's what they did to York as well. But to give such a high status to, like, just like that when they're not actually by blood celestial dragons. And I know that that doesn't really mean anything because the celestial dragons are just regular people who have, you know, and this idea that they have this pure blood and whatnot, it's all a load of, you know, crap, and it's just how they make themselves feel special and superior when they're not actually in any way physically superior, unless you count the Garlings, I suppose. But I just feel like it's such a high position. And I wonder how much the rest of the regular celestial dragons know about this, because I feel like they would riot. They would hate it if they found out that they were being ruled by these guys. And God's knights were making these decisions for them when they're not even by birthright celestial dragons. Do you know what I mean? Some of the holy knights used to be friends with Big Mom, right? Is that a thing? If I don't know what that is referring to. Where is that from? Was it said that the God's Knights were friends with Big Mom? Oh, you think that they actually wanted Loki to become the leader as well, seeing as Garling isn't part of isn't part of the God's Knights anymore. That's also interesting. Yeah, it's true. Good point. Although I don't know if they'd give it, like, you reckon they'd give a leader position that quick? Surely you have to prove your loyalty first. Oh, the fact that one of the orphans from Big Mom's flashback look like the God's Knight. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. Yep, I remember that now. Yeah, I thought that it was a cipher poll as well, but I do remember when some of the more of the God's Knight were revealed, I think that theory came up again because some of the comparisons, we had to revisit some of the comparisons. Anyways, the other point is those two voids. Mr. Bushido has left us and has not expanded on his idea about these two voids. I'm gonna just, I think the most obvious answer has to be the Age of Heaven, right? This first void that we've just found out about, the one the one not that's sorry, the one that's not the one about the void century involving Joy Boy. That must be maybe the original Nika during or at the end of the Age of Heaven that Robin was talking about. Is that what we're all thinking? That has to be what everyone's thinking, right? I mean, that's the age, because if we're thinking about like how this is the sort of the third age we're actually living in, because the world's been destroyed twice. Which is interesting because the Void Century didn't necessarily get rid of the age. Or did it? I guess it's the post-Void Century after Void Century. But it seems like they're all still part of the same age. But I guess maybe you can, which is interesting because if you think about it in like our real world history, we have lots of ages as well. But like modern history is considered everything that happened after the French Revolution. I think I'm just getting things just messed up in my head now. My brain's just so full of different things. I also really liked this idea of the Harley texts. Does anyone know what Harley is supposed to mean? What is Harley? For me, I don't know what Harley necessarily means, and if it has any significance in Norse mythology. But I was thinking, I really like this idea that Harley is written in an archaic text, so it's really difficult to actually interpret what things mean, because I think it has a lot to do with the interpretation of Norse mythology. So I've actually explained this in a video before, explaining or just talking about the significance of Norse mythology. But most of traditional Norse mythology is actually, it's an oral tradition. So stories were passed down orally instead of being written down. And even so, the earliest case of when the myths started getting, I guess, translated into written form, that was centuries after sort of the original ancient myths. It also happened around the same time that Christianity had already spread in across Nordic, across Scandinavian countries, which meant that some of the mythology became imbued with Christian traditions and Christian beliefs, and now scholars don't believe that they reflect the true beliefs that were believed by the ancient Nordic people of the original times. And also, what's really interesting is that a lot of this, like the Prose Edda, and the other one that I can't remember, that's the original sort of one of the first primary written sources of Norse mythology that we have, are written in sort of as like poems. And what that means is that even when what's his name? Snorri Sturluson. When Snorri Sturluson was writing it, a lot of it isn't because of the poetic Edda. There's the poetic Edda and the prose Edda. But even when he was writing it, you have to take in with a grain of salt that sometimes when he uses words, he used it specifically for the rhythm and for the sort of poetic effect that word would have, instead of its like literal translation, or instead of the most like accurate and factual interpretation. And so sometimes like you have a lot of like you have the recurrence of some word or some sounds like the S sound or whatever, to make it sound like to make it more poetic and fit the way in which he was writing, than rather it being like a really factual or accurate account of the mythology. And I think that's really interesting, that means like, it seems like Oda has taken some of that into this idea of the Harley and how it's difficult to interpret, and you can, even though it's like being read by the descendants of whoever must have written the Harley, the Obathians are still having trouble in actually interpreting what it means, because it's like the language is so different. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Sorry, there's a better way I could have explained all of that, but my brain is also a bit scrambled. You're right, One Piece also has a really interesting relationship between oral and written history, the poneglyphs versus the Big Sake. That's very true. That's a good point. Okay, yeah, Harley must mean that it's holy. It's cool. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, Kusoland. The Void Century didn't end the age, because the Sea Circle age started 1500 years ago. So I'm guessing the first, like that, what I meant was that it's interesting that the Sea Circle age didn't end with the Void Century. Like, it's not like we're living in a third age necessarily. It seems like we've got the first age, which was the Age of Heaven, which also happens to line up with the astral world, the heavenly world of the Obathians, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the Sea Circle age, which is the current age, but also the age that the events of the Void Century took place. You just think that if Nika's like world ending coincided with the Age of Heaven ending, you would have assumed that the Void Century would have a similar effect. But it's interesting that it didn't. There's just so much. Look, there's so much that we have to get into. Unfortunately, though, we are going to have to discuss it in a video. I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to drink more coffee, because I feel like I'm still not quite wide awake. I think that last explanation about the poetic Edda and the verbal and oral tradition, that was, I think that made me realize that my brain's really not here right now. So let me reread the chapter. I'm going to I'm going to process everything, and let me share all of my thoughts in a video. So if you are not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. I really want to get to 100,000 subscribers. We're going to get to 100,000 subscribers in the year of 2025. I should have put that on my bingo card list. Actually, you know what? Before we go, we've actually got to go look at what of the bingo card list we can cross out now. Let's have a look at this. So I think we can cross some of these out. I think we can definitely cross out more Holy Knights revealed. Let me change the color, actually. Let's go to pink. Oh, what is it? Why is it doing that? So I think we could say the Holy Knights reveal, that happened this time. So, oh, sorry, I received the super chat. Sun God Lost in translation is a Bible reference. Really? The Sun God being lost in Sun God being lost is a Bible translation. Um, let me think about this. I have a pretty good. I have a pretty good knowledge of biblical stories, but I'm not too sure of this one. Please do explain. Let me know. D, let me know about what's the Bible reference? Oh my god, you guys, we've already gotten sun god law. Are we allowed to I think we can cross off sun god law as well. What do you reckon? Sun god law? I'm gonna cross that off. I feel like that can. Was it not enough? Does it not count as enough lore? I don't know. I feel like it should be lore. We might even be able to. We might even be able to cross off. Just one line. I like that idea, Callie. Alright, I'm gonna cross off one line. It's sort of like half. Can I cross off Sanji Riz as a giant as well? I think maybe not. I guess it doesn't quite count. Almost. Can I get half a line? Maybe we'll give Sanji just one line as well. You know what? This year we're not doing bad. That's not a bad start to our bingo predictions. A quarter of a line? Surely half. Let's go. Alright, we'll give. Well, I think we can just stick to the one line. I think that's fine. Oh, every giant has different takes. It's sort of like how there are different types of Christians. You mean like the different denominations of Christianity? That's a good point as well. I think it's just like how for me it's the what do you call it? Yeah, it's like the religion. It's the way that religion I think was really portrayed in Game of Thrones as well. Um I think they're like my recollection of the way religion was portrayed is a little hazy right now. But the new religion of like the god of the seven, is that what it was called? I think they had many faces, right? And it's like one is the mother, one is like there were all of these different um faces of the same god. Like you pray, or were they actual seven gods? I feel like I remember that it was explained that like some people believe that it is the one god, but they just have take on different forms. Or am I thinking of a different series entirely? Faith of the Seven. Let's find out. Yeah, it's the faith one god who has seven aspects or seven faces. It's like that. It's like how the Christian God was also vengeful in the Old Testament, huh? and then some preach fire. Okay, that's really, I like that idea as well. That's a good take. That's an interesting take. Joseph Campbell said that there was a hero with 1,000 faces. All right. I haven't actually read any of Joseph Campbell's work, but I know who you're talking about. The one that wrote, like, I know which one you're talking about. I haven't actually read anything, but that's an interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. He wrote a hero with 1,000 faces. Okay, I'll look into it. That's interesting. Thanks for letting me know. Every giant race, overall, the giant race seems to be on the cusp of social change as well. Loki's rebellion might be a sign of that. Well, yeah, because I think Mr. Bushido said that as well, that it seems like we're on the precipice of a civil war. And I hadn't considered that, but that's a really interesting point. We might have a civil war, especially between those who actually follow King Harold and wants Elbaf to become more peaceful, wants to connect with the outside world, and those who think it's a shame that we don't actually, that Elbaf isn't a warrior nation anymore, and wants Elbaf to go back to the sort of legendary warfaring island or people that it used to be. That's a really interesting point. And it seems like, that could be the spark of, the entire world going down. Because when Elbaf gets into a civil war, it's going to impact the war. It's going to impact the world overall. I don't know. It's a really interesting point. I'm gonna have to look into this. And it's also become sort of like a religious war. It's almost becomes a holy war as well between people who interpret. People could take sides depending on whether you think the sun god is the god of destruction versus whether you think that he's the god of liberation. That's really interesting. And now that you've mentioned Roger, hello Cuesta de Jaeger, thanks for popping in. Now that you mentioned Roger, it's almost like what Rayleigh was saying as well. When you reach Laughtail, when you read what we read, when you find out what we found out, you're going to come to your own conclusions. Was Nika the god of liberation? Was Nika the god of destruction? This is very interesting. Okay, but on that note, we are going to have to say bye-bye for today. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed, then please do subscribe to the channel. I will be sharing more of my thoughts in a video, so keep tuned. We are back, baby. One Piece is back for chapter 11 for 2025 with a banger chapter in chapter 1136. And I do believe there is no break next week. Is that right? Do we have a break? I don't think we have a break. Let me double check this. No break? And exactly, everyone, let's get the channel to 100,000 subscribers for 2025. We're gonna display our silver play button somewhere. Let's do it. Thank you so much for joining me. Had a lovely, fantastic time reading, as I always did. Thank you to everyone who super chatted. Thank you to everyone who gifted memberships. But thank you everyone for just tuning in for a lovely stream and helping me cross off some bingo cards already. Hopefully we'll have better luck this year. We should figure out what's going to happen if we do actually achieve bingo this year. But I shall see you all in a video and then again next week to read chapter 1137.